And let me put the Tank Obadiah link in here for everybody that's in the chat. Oh, you're gonna have to wrench me up. All right, it should be in there now. Is it going through? Because I've sent it a couple times. Yep, brother Reggie Owens already in the building. Let me drop some links. You know, DT, salute DT. All right, let me switch over. I think I got to switch over. I don't know if they can hear me on both yours and on my live.
Word. All right. I'm officially in. Now I can unload.
Can you hear me? Everybody in the chat, let me know if y'all can hear me.
I can hear
But
you
is it
fine, my
on your
man.
channel or the other channel or my channel?
I hear you on your channel. Probably
I hear
because
an
I was
echo from Central.
okay. Let me. I just unmuted. Let me go over to the other channel and make sure I'm out.
Hey, kick me out this out your chat. Okay. DT said yes, sir. So I'm assuming they can hear me.
Yeah, I think Cal got to knock it because I don't switch over to this one now.
Reggie Owens in the building. We're gonna do some TV and movie talk. Just keep it going, but kick me out the probably want to kick us out the party. Mark Nash, come on through, brother. If you still up. I know you're on that Georgia time. Somebody said yes, it's good audio, but is that my page or is that is it on both of our pages? That'd be dope if it is. And I should have known if we would have been able to stream live double channels. That'd have been dope because we was cooking over there on that in the boxing section. All right, here we go. We're gonna talk about some TV and movie talk. We just bleeding in over from the boxing conversation. The boxing section, and we was talking about some TV and movie talk over there. So we're gonna try to keep the party going. Anybody else want to join up on the panel? The link should be in the chat as we file on in. File on in. Let's see. All right, got shut up in the beast, up in this piece. So I think we got our crew. I love the way that Kyle came up with the idea. He was like, man, we should watch some of these shows. Um, it's just gotta figure out a way to be able to watch them um, without the copy strike, getting them strikes. Um, or everybody, I was thinking everybody got to watch an episode and then we come and talk about it right after we watch them. Um,
That'd be
and
about
then
the only
break
way
it
you could
down.
do it, I think.
Right. Because I know that unless you're on like a Patreon, you ain't gonna be able to post that on the YouTube. We could probably do it on a live on some kind of uh, different kind of platform, but I don't think it's gonna work on YouTube. But there's one of the shows I wanted to talk about was when I was brought up the last time we was talking, which is The Shield, because that one don't get enough love um, when it comes. You have to do that. You have to do it that way to avoid them strikes. Yeah, exactly. And Reggie, I got to take Reggie's word for it because he knows about them strikes. If anybody know about them getting them YouTube police on them, is box conversation with Reggie Owens. But yeah, we were talking earlier about shows. Has everybody on the panel seen The Wire?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm the king of getting strikes." Exactly. Um, okay, we got The Wire. What other shows was on there? Uh,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
say again.
Was it the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yes. Everybody seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Or are y'all into the Marvel TV series yet?
I haven't seen that yet.
I mean, I
What about Power? Everybody seen Power? We up to date on
Yes,
Power?
sir.
yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
I don't have no. There's gonna be a spoiler alert show for people who haven't seen these series. I'm gonna try to do it. We can probably do it without spoilers. Um, and try to stick to certain aspects of the show. But um, what about Ghost? Everybody seen Ghost season one?
Yeah,
I
I
have.
seen that. Yes, yes, sir.
That's a yes, yes, all the way around, all four of us.
Yes, sir.
In
I
the
think
chat, let
so.
me know if anybody in the chat has not seen Power or The Wire. Let us know if you don't want to be spoiled, because we got to do some spoiler talk, and I probably should put that in the title, huh? I should probably put that in the title if I know how to change title.
Yeah, I've
Let
seen
me
all
jump back
four.
in.
I've seen everyone that you called out so
Okay.
far. I'm a little bit behind on the Falcon. I got to catch up on it.
Okay, so
Somebody
we'll
jumped
save
out,
that one.
didn't they?
That's best pugilist, but we can get him right on back in here.
No,
No problemo.
don't save none for me, bro. I like talking about movies even if I hadn't seen them. I'm good.
Okay, for sure.
I want all spoilers.
Let me see. How do I change the title of the show? I need Reggie help, bro.
Yeah, I got knocked out for a second.
Reggie be having me on, man. Reggie know how to do all this stuff. I want to know how if I can change the title of the show during the show to add spoiler talk, but oh well, I have to change it later. And whoever watching just gonna get caught up. So we're gonna do some spoiler talk for Power, The Wire, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And that was did I say a fourth show? Look where it says edit. You can change the title there. Was there a fourth show? What was the fourth one? I said Power, The Wire, uh, Falcon, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and something else. We could just do those for now. He said an error occurred. Who fell out this time? Centos.
I think it's Centos.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll
Shinto.
be able to change the title or not, but I think it said there was a problem with it. Oh well, we can go ahead and get into it. All right. First, I'll say era, but it'll change the title. You can disregard the era. All right. I don't know. We'll see. I think I messed it up. Get doing something probably. But all right. So we was talking earlier about these TV shows, and everybody said that they caught up with Power. Ghost. Ghost. That was the other one. Ghost season one and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So first show I want to talk about real quick because it just ended uh, is the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Um, this show uh, picks up um, after the events of Avengers Endgame and after the events of the WandaVision series. And uh, if anybody watched the end of Endgame, Captain America Steve Rogers goes through back through the time machine to put back all of uh, uh, the gems that they got from the different eras. So they had the the, the, the time gem, which was the space gem, the mind gem, the ether that was in Thor that they got from Jane, um, the Soul Stone, so forth and so on. And I think he even took back Mjolnir to Thor. And when he returns back, he's old and gray because he made a pit stop to see his long lost love, Peggy Carter. And according to him in the film, he got a chance to live his long life with Peggy Carter. Um, so he comes back old and gray at the end of the film, and he has a new shield. Remember in the movie, the original shield that he had in that movie in that timeline, it got broken up when he fought Thanos, the new Thanos. Uh, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Is that my mic or somebody else's? He got a shield broken in that fight with Thanos, who came back into their timeline. So he tries to hand the shield uh, to Sam, the Falcon, um, and he tells Falcon, or he tells Falcon it's his. He asks Falcon how does it feel. Falcon says it feels like it belongs to someone else, and Captain America says, "Well, it doesn't." And he being Sam, looks back at Bucky, and Bucky gives him the nod to let him know it's all you, um, to let him know that he was in on it. And now fast forward, we see um, when the Winter Soldier comes on, um, Falcon is still working for the government, doing um, secret missions that are off the books that nobody uh, is supposed to really know about because uh, you know they're still working uh, on getting people resituated coming back from the blip when they reappear after Thanos snapped them out of existence, and then the Incredible Hulk brought everybody back into existence. If you watch Spider-Man: Homecoming, wait, is it Homecoming or is it Far From Home? Watch Spider-Man: Far From Home. Uh, Spoiler alert. Again, this is all spoiler talk. So, spoiler alert for you guys who haven't watched Spider-Man: Far From Home. They actually deal with what they call the blip. The blip is when everybody returns from getting snapped out of existence by Thanos and the Infinity War. So, the world is in kind of an interesting, chaotic position because some people who are coming back 5 years after being gone for 5 years, they've been displaced. People are living in the houses that they used to live in. Some of their houses no longer exist. So people are living in a different kind of a world 5 years later. Some people, and in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, they touch on a different aspect of it, where they say that uh, uh, people during the 5 year period where everybody was gone, some of the people learned to live without borders, so to speak, and they were living in a way where it was similar to one world. You know what I mean? It was one world, one people, as opposed to you got China over here, you got the United States over there, you got England over there, and so forth and so on. So when the show starts, you're dealing with kind of a reorder and repositioning of the world. So where the characters are actually, you have Sam, like I said, who's doing these missions for the military, but you have the Winter Soldier, who's James Barnes, who is trying to deal with the fact that he is now the new Steve Rogers. Now we last saw him fighting in Endgame, but before that, we saw him in Wakanda where he was getting help from Shuri and the people of Wakanda to help take away the triggers that caused him to be the Winter Soldiers. The triggers, those select few words that Baron Zemo says in the Captain America Civil War film that trigger uh, James Barnes and turns him into the Winter Soldier, which is a unfeeling killing machine that just follows the orders of whoever says those trigger words to him. And so now, when this TV series starts, you have Bucky in a position to where he's trying to uh, deal with the aspect that he's having PTSD nightmares of the actions that he did while he was Winter Soldier, because as we found out in Captain America Civil War, he remembers all of those bad deeds. He remembers every assassination. He remembers all the people he killed and all the lives he affected. So he's actually seeing a therapist when the Falcon and Winter Soldier series starts. Um, and the therapist is kind of trying her best to help him uh, uh, um, get find his way through these nightmares that he's having, and find a way to cope with the PTSD. On his part, he doesn't trust anybody. You know what I mean? He doesn't trust anybody. He's a man out of time, and he's now having to go through what Steve Rogers had to go through between Captain America, the First Avenger, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier movie, where he's adjusting to the new time and the fact that he's been on ice for 100 years. Bucky is doing that in a kind of a similar way where he's adjusting to throughout this 100-year period. He's been put on cryo sleep, waking up to do an assassination, put back on cryo sleep, waking up to do another assassination. And so he's trying to deal with that aspect of his life, um, and knowing that his only friend from his time period is now old and gray and got a chance to live his life as a regular man. Steve Rogers, he's now gone. There's no relationship really between James Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson, the Falcon, outside of their little quibs that they had during the Civil War movie, where we remember they were in a little bug, and James like, move your seat, and he's like, nah, and they those kind of interactions like that, or when they're trying to fight Spider-Man, and they both get pretty much get their ass kicked by Spider-Man until Sam brings in Red Wing, and then Bucky says something like, "You could have started off with that." So you can always see that you can already see that they have a unique relationship. It's not a friendship, but they kind of do like this little quib and jab at each other every now and again, but it works for them. Now in this TV series, this is taking place, like I said, post Sam getting a shield. We learned that Bucky was involved with the decision making process. It wasn't just a spur of the moment decision by Captain America. He actually talked to Bucky, and they both decided that the man that was most deserving of the Captain America shield would be Sam. If you guys recall, Sam Wilson worked with veterans who came back from war with PTSD when he first met Steve Rogers back in Captain America Winter Soldier. So helping people and understanding people's plight was something that Sam had been doing by profession. You know what I mean? And it was the cause that Steve Rogers was fighting for that pulled Sam Wilson out of retirement because he himself had PTSD because his partner, who he worked with in the military, had died um, in combat. So just to catch everybody up. So now we have the shows taking place. We got, like I said, Sam's doing missions, and we got Bucky is trying to rehabilitate his life and his psyche. You find him talking with this older Asian gentleman, and the older Asian gentleman every day you can see him talking to him at the bar at some local bar where he's at. Um, what you do is you find out that one of the nightmares that Bucky was having was a mission that he had to assassinate somebody, and in the process, or after he assassinated somebody, there was an old Chinese. There was a young Chinese man uh, who was trying to get away, and he was a witness to the assassination, and the Winter Soldier killed him. That was one of the nightmares. So you go to find out that when Bucky walks this older um, Asian gentleman home, when the scene is in real time in modern day, you see that the Asian man has a mantle in his house that's dedicated to his young Chinese man that happened to be his son, which was the guy that Winter Soldier killed. And so you see that Winter Soldier is trying to make amends by helping people that he had wronged or whose lives he had affected while he was the Winter Soldier. And this older man was just one of them. But he couldn't bring himself to tell the older man that he's the one that's responsible for the death of his son. The older man doesn't even know what happened to his son. He just knows that he went on a trip one day and never came back. If you guys remember the book that Steve Rogers carried in Winter Soldier, um, Captain America Winter Soldier, where Sam Wilson tells him to put, I think it was Marvin Gaye Trouble Man album in there if he wants to get caught up on some of the time period gaps that he had. Bucky now owns that book. So Bucky got the book so he can help him adjust to the time, and Sam Wilson got the shield. So what happens is in the beginning of the very beginning of the show, after Sam Wilson does his mission, he goes and uh, goes to a museum where the government is there, the Captain America exhibit that we've all seen in the previous movies, and he takes the shield because he feels like he's not deserving of it. And as a black man, he had second thoughts of being a person who uh, can get behind fighting for the moniker of the shield, and he gives it back to the government to put in the museum. So Bucky's actually watching that on TV. We see the character of Rhodey, who's the War Machine. He's there in that scene as well, and Rhodey and Sam have a discussion on why he giving up the shield, and so that's that. The shield is now put into display in the museum. Now, what we find out later on in the series, in the episode, is that there's a new quote unquote freedom fighter or terror. There's a group that's being labeled as terrorists called the Flag Smashers. These Flag Smashers are the people that were uh, uh, in favor of the world the way it was before the blip. So they were into, one people, one world, one people. No government interference. Everybody looks out for everybody, and there's no separation between people. And so what happened was during a period of time between the end of Endgame and now when the show takes place, they have recreated the super serum, the super soldier serum that gave both Captain America and Bucky their super strength and super speed, superpowers, right? And so all of the people that are in this flag smasher group, they have these powers and these superpowers. And now um, they find out that they're going around and getting resources from what they call the GRC. The GRC is the Global Restoration Council or something like that. Help me out, Best Pugilist. Was that it was a GRC or something like that, right? Where they were getting the people back to where they're supposed to be at. But yeah, so anyways, they were called the GRC. I will get the acronym right later on. Somebody will correct us later anyway. But uh, so uh, they're going and stealing supplies from the GRC because they had been asking the GRC for supplies. The GRC was giving them supplies. They were on this wait list for months and months and months, even though they had the supplies. So this group of super soldiers was going out and taking that shit. All right. In the very beginning, we are reintroduced to Backrock, who is the character played by uh, uh, George St. Pierre, who was in the Captain America Winter Soldier movie. That Captain America fights in the beginning of that movie. So he was the one that Sam was on a mission to find early in the very beginning of the series, in the beginning of the show. But once again, he just like he got away from Captain America, he got away from Sam. But Sam's mission was to free a person that was being kidnapped by him. So his mission wasn't to capture or kill Backrock. His mission was to reacquire the person that was kidnapped. That Backrock was getting ready to. He was like being a mercenary, and he was going to get paid for delivering him. So he messed up Backrock's money. So, anyways, fast forward through all of that, we come to the realization that when Bucky saw Sam give up the shield, he felt some kind of way about that. So he tells Sam, "Look, that shield was supposed to go to you, right? Not to the museum." Because what the government ended up doing was, once it was out of the hands of Sam, the government decided to give the shield to another soldier named John Walker. John Walker was a decorated war hero, and so they gave him the moniker of Captain America. Now, he didn't have any super powers or anything like that. He was just a decorated warrior or decorated soldier, just like Sam was. But they made a new suit. They even had a big old pep rally at his old high school to introduce him to the world, to America, as the new Captain America. But you can tell that his personality wasn't the same as Steve Rogers' personality off top. You know what I'm saying? So to go with that, Bucky and salute Eli Zachary, Bucky and Sam the Winter Soldier. I mean Sam the Falcon. They wasn't vibing with the dude's personality off top. So when he gets the shield, you got Bucky meeting up with Sam. And he's like, "Yo, why'd you do that? You weren't supposed to do that. The shield was for you, not for you to give up." But Sam at the time is getting ready for a mission to go find these quote unquote flag smashers. And so he goes to that mission, finds Bucky ends up joining them. So they end up finding the people, realize they got superpowers. Later on, find out how they got the superpowers, that the super soldier serum has been synthetically re-engineered, and they find out that it was re-engineered through the blood of Black Captain America from way back in the day named Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley in the comic books was one of the Captain Americas after Steve Rogers was presumed missing and dead when he fell into the snow. And so what America did, what they do is they play on the trope of the medical experiments that they used to do on black soldiers back in the day. So what they saying in Marvel in the Marvel story is that a group of soldiers, a group of black soldiers, was tested on, and one of them was Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley was the only one that the super soldier serum worked on. Everybody else had all these adverse effects to it and either died or had uh, uh, all these illnesses that hurt them. So all these soldiers um, just finished watching Cycle Ridge and Mortal Kombat. Yeah, exactly, Eli. So we going into a spoiler talk, spoiler talk. All right, and I'm breezing through it. So anybody who after me want to jump in and fill in some of my blanks, go ahead and feel free when I get done. But so they find out that a lot of black soldiers were given these serums tests, and it only worked on Isaiah Bradley. He was the only one that it worked on the same way as it worked with Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. And what happened was the rest of his group of men ended up being captured like POWs and prisoners of war. And the American government decided, you know what, we're going to let them be. We're going to sacrifice them. And not only are we going to sacrifice them, but we're going to bomb the area where they are to cover up the fact that we was doing experiments on them. All right. Well, Isaiah Bradley wasn't having none of that, so he went in and saved the people that they was going to kill, those other soldiers. Now, his reward for doing that was the American government locked him up and threw away the key for about 30 years. During this process of time, his wife died, and they started doing experiments on him to figure out why did the serum work on him. They also uh, um, would let Hydra come in and do experiments on him because, as we know, uh, I shouldn't say let, I should say the Hydra did experiments on him also because, as we know, Hydra was interwoven into the very fabric of the creation of Shield, right? As we found out in Captain America: Winter Soldier, Shield was a part of Hydra. Hydra was a part of Shield, and so what ended up happening was throughout this period of time while he was locked up, Isaiah Bradley was tested on. They re-engineered and synthesized the super soldier serum from his blood work, and that's how you have the super soldier serum existing in the modern day time that the show takes place. And so there's a person behind the scenes called the Power Broker who had the serum and was who gave it to these flag smashers in this group and was going to use it to get even more soldiers. But the flag smashers end up stealing the super soldier serum from the Power Broker, and that's where they're on the move when Bucky and Sam catch up with them in the show. All right, and get their ass kicked by them. All right. So moving along, as the story goes, um, um, the only person who had any knowledge of the super soldiers outside of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was still alive was Zemo from Captain America: Civil War. Zemo tried to kill all of the Avengers, and one of his things was that he didn't feel like soldiers, people with superpowers should exist. He didn't feel like they should be on the planet, and so therefore he wanted to destabilize them by making a fight amongst each other. And then at the end of the movie, he lets you know that there are some super soldiers that existed, and he kills them after he lures Bucky, Captain America, and Iron Man to where they were. So at the end of that movie, we know that Zemo was the reason he assassinated a bunch of people at the United Nations meeting. One of the people being King T'Challa. Excuse me, King T'Chaka, King T'Challa's father, and King T'Challa witnessed it and tried to prevent it. Um, that's how he became the Black Panther. The King of Wakanda in the Black Panther movie. So Zemo is in prison at this time because Black Panther allowed the United States government and the CIA to lock Zemo up. But the Wakandans, that's what they agreed to. But they did keep an eye on him and make sure that he was being detained the way that the government agreed to him being detained. So what ended up happening is in this movie, it's filmed like a movie. In this TV show, um, uh, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier decide we need to go to Zemo to get some answers. Well, Sam was against it. Bucky wasn't. So Bucky came up with a plan to free Zemo to help them find these flag smashers and stop this whole scenario with this new super soldier serum. So that happens. Zemo's free. Bucky and now Sam and now Zemo are finding where this super serum came from. They find out the guy who made it, but then he gets killed by Zemo. And then they find that Sharon Carter is in the same country that they're in. And if you remember Sharon Carter, that's the niece of Peggy Carter, who Captain America spent, who was Captain America's love interest in the first movie, and he spent the rest of his life with, and at the end of Avengers Endgame. So, all right, best for you, so so what ended up happening is your man's Baron Zemo ends up freeing them. I mean, killing the guy who made the serum, and then Peggy Carter is the one that gives them a safe haven while they're out there. So at the end of the show or at the end of the series, you see Peggy Carter, Zemo, and Sam all working together, and it turns out that Zemo being free did not sit well with the Wakandans, and the Dora Milaje was sent to get him. And then once they got a hold of him, they got a hold of Bucky. They asked Bucky why he let him out. Bucky explains to him that he was a means to an end, and then as a means to an end, but the Dora Milaje wants him back in custody. They give him a period of time. I think it was 8 hours to give him back, but at that period of time, when that period of time was up, they came for him themselves. A big fight breaks out with John Walker, the new Captain America, who was on his trail on their own, and then Zemo escapes. But they end up catching back up with him later on, putting him back in prison. And what's his name? Zemo. Hey, jump on the panel, Eli Zachary. Jump on the panel, so y'all can go in on this Captain America. On this Winter Soldier and the Falcon. The link should be in the chat. But once they get on there, and once they go looking for Zemo, who escaped, you know what I mean? They catch back up with him. Catch back up with Carly, who's the head of the Flag Smashers, and she has the serum. John Walker, the new Winter Soldier, gets a vial of the serum, takes the serum, and then he becomes now a super soldier, just like the original Captain America and Bucky. But in the process, his right-hand man, Lamar, is killed, and then that drives him crazy. So in a moment of rage, he kills one of the Flag Smashers, and that leads Bucky and Sam to have to disarm him. They take back the shield, and then that's where last night's episode picked up from, because John Walker, the new Captain America, broke the Falcon's wings, and now he needed a new suit. And when the Wakandans came back to get Zemo, the brother Winter Soldier asked them for a new suit made by Wakanda for Sam Wilson. And that's where the last show starts off. Let me get a...
Hey, I'm listening to you, man.
Okay, I'm just putting in the chat the link in case Eli Zachary, he said he just watched it. The show for me touched on so many themes. The Black Captain America, Isaiah, Bradley had that talk with Sam, and he
Yeah, I
tells
gotta catch
him
back
his
up.
story. Oh, that's right. You said you hadn't seen a couple of episodes, huh?
Yeah, I've seen up until the point where they go visit the brother.
Okay.
He's pretty upset about the past.
And he told him.
I don't think I've seen an episode after that. I've seen about two or three episodes, maybe 4, but I think just 2 or 3.
Okay. Because it's only 6 episodes, so if you've seen 3 or 4, you already at towards the end. So after they see Bradley, and he explains to him what happens, Sam goes back to his home, or his sister's home, right? You see that?
Yeah, they're trying to get a loan. I remember all that.
Yeah, he tried to get a loan because his sister has their family boat, and the damn bank, the boat is all old, and so they're trying to get it repaired, but the bank wouldn't allow them to get a loan to fix it up.
Right.
And so what he ends up doing is trying to fix it up himself. Later on, what he does is he enlists the help of the community, because you find out that their mother used to help out everybody in the community. And so Sam, he ends up calling everybody that that was still in the community. Hey, what's up, man? It's Sam. What up, Sam? Yeah, man. I got this is a situation. If any, could you help out? So everybody comes out in the town to help out because they remember the Wilson family helping them out when they was all up and coming. So that's what happens, and that's how they get to working on the boat. Eventually, who also comes is the Winter Soldier. Bucky comes to help out as well. So he meets his sister and all that. In the meantime, everything that I was talking about, they have this lighthearted part where they can have a bonding part where they fixing the boat.
Okay.
So they fixing the boat.
Now, I heard you say that earlier that he gave his shield back. I remember him giving the shield back, but I thought he was trying to retire or something from doing that, hero type of work.
Nah, he wasn't trying to retire. What he was trying to do was he didn't want to. You talking about Sam, right?
Yeah, the Falcon.
Nah, he just wanted to. He just didn't want to be the one to be Captain America.
Oh, okay. So
that's why he gave his shield up.
He was trying to avoid that. Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, big shoes to fill. The fact that he's black. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got no super soldier. He ain't got no super soldier powers. So he was like, just let me do what I do, without those lofty expectations. And so what ended up happening was he gave the shield back as a result of that. But the American government, before the damn shield got situated, they gave it to another, blonde hair, blue eyed dude.
Right.
And John Walker. And that pissed Bucky off. That's what pisses Bucky off, because he's like, man, we decided to give you that shield because we feel like you deserved it. You got all the qualities. And so
I think Bucky was hoping that he'd come in as his own individual and not replicating Captain America.
Right.
Because they had he felt some type of way about that.
That's exactly what it was. They felt that what he brought to the table was enough.
Mm-hmm.
Be you. Be who you are. But
also,
what you go ahead.
Also,
your mic breaking up. Your mic breaking up. Hold on.
Gave him ranking above those two. Yeah, I'm gonna
say that again. Say it again, because
your
mic went up. Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear? Oh man, you're in a bad area. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Nope. I hear you trying to say something, but you're not coming through clearly at all. Damn. Can't hear you at all. But I think what you were saying was what Bucky and them expected of him. What we find out in the series, um, in the episode that you didn't see, is that Bucky and and Cap, they actually discussed um, him getting the shield, and but what they didn't consider was the fact that you'd be giving it to a black dude, and the other things that come with that. You know, giving the shield to a black man, with all the things that have happened to black people in America, historically speaking, and how that would affect Sam's decision making. And so Bucky apologized for that, you know, not taking that consideration because you know they're not black men. But uh, even in that scene, did you see the scene? Can you hear me now? Can you say something so we can hear? See if your the static is gone. I don't know if you've seen the scene where when they go to see. Oh yeah, you did. You said you seen the scene where they go see Isaiah Bradley. But did you see? Did you pay attention to when the police was messing with him and the police racially profiles Sam Wilson before realizing that he's Sam Wilson, an Avenger, um, in Baltimore? They was about to mess with him, and that was the aspect that Steve Rogers and James Barnes, Bucky didn't understand. They did not take into consideration, and that was crucial to the decision making process of Sam that they didn't think of. Want to try to come out and come back in? Oh, there you go. Uh, there you went. Santos.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, I can hear you. How's my audio?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that what was it? I forgot what I was gonna tell you now. I know Winter Soldier, he was feeling some type of way about my man becoming. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. It seems as if they put they gave the new Captain America a higher rank over Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it ain't the last episode I saw. It wasn't they wasn't feeling that so much.
Right. Exactly. With the ranking of Captain America, you have, you know, you have a whole different uh, uh, carte blanche and to make decisions tactically in the military.
Right.
And so he was going around like that's why he was making statement. Oh, well, I got your therapy kicked out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got you released
Right.
from
I remember.
jail and in my custody because I'm Captain America.
Yeah. Now, what about the brother that's like a little sidekick to Captain America? I don't know much about his character at all.
Lamar, that is uh oh man, that is Lamar. His name was Battlestar. You talking about Battlestar, right?
Battlestar, I guess is his name.
Yeah.
It sounds
So
familiar.
in the comics, he has super strength and superpowers, and he's a decorated soldier as well. And He is the right hand to the John Walker version of Captain America.
Okay.
So they're like best friends. They served in the military together and
Oh, okay.
was
Okay.
war heroes together.
Got it. That's it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the series, in episode, I want to say 5 or 4.
Mhm.
Was it 4 or 5? Either episode 4 or 5, he gets accidentally killed by
Which one? The
the,
little
the
the little
Lamar,
sidekick?
the sidekick Battlestar, yeah, because he they're all fighting. Everybody's fighting, and he don't
Okay.
have no superpowers. So he dives on the girl, the redhead.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
he dived on her. He dove on her, dived on her. They gonna mess with me. He dove on her to stop her from attacking uh, uh, somebody, and then so he turned around and punched him in his chest, and he flew across the room and hit a beam, hit his back, at a high velocity. So he died. Um, John Walker had already taken the super serum and went out and killed. Then he ran out and chased down and killed one of the flag smashers as a result of that. But when he killed that person, it was caught on video and everybody saw it because he did it out in broad daylight in front of everybody, in front of a crowd.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so they took. Go ahead.
so is he like a fugitive now or something?
Nah, he wasn't a fugitive. What happened was right after that, the next
Did he?
episode takes place
Okay.
right after that. And so right after that, wherever he runs to,
Okay.
right after that incident, after he killing the dude, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier followed him and they find him. And the three of them fight in the very beginning of the episode as they try to take the shield back from him. And so they end up
Mhm.
winning the fight and taking the shield back from him. And when they took the shield back from him, he got pretty much not court martial, but he had to step in front of the senators and the Congress or whatever, and they stripped him of his Captain America status.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But because he got the complexion for the protection, um, they didn't arrest him or anything like that. They just stripped him of his status and told him that he can't be Captain America no more. Uh, but what he
Right.
did was he left out of there and he still had his suit. He didn't have the shield no more, but he still had his suit. So what he did was at the end of the episode,
Mhm.
he makes his own shield. He made his own shield and went after
Mhm.
he because he told he meets up with the parents of Lamar, Battlestar's parents, and then they tell him
Mhm.
how proud they were of how proud Battlestar was to be his partner, to be the partner of Captain America. And he tells the parents that the person that he killed is the person that killed their son, but it wasn't. It was really the girl with the red hair. She's the one that killed him. But he told the parents that the person he killed was the one that killed his son so that he can save face. See what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
The
then he
one
went
that
and tried to
Battlestar.
kill her. What? You said when did Battlestar what?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So the girl Kylie is the one who killed him, and so in the following episode,
No.
he goes to try to really kill her.
Okay. So the girl that Battlestar jumped on and he started fighting, and she the one knocked him into a beam.
Yep,
That's who you're
yep,
talking about. That he's after. Okay. That's who killed him.
yep. That's
Gotcha.
who he's after the very next show because now he don't want to be a liar to. He knows he lied to the parents, but he wants to at least make it true.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That he went after her.
Right. Right.
So he goes after her and the group as they try to get their end game, which is to kidnap all the delegates that's overseeing the GRC. Um, the group that's trying to get everybody replaced back into society. Um, they're
Mhm.
at they're in New York, and so the flag smashers kidnap all them people. Well, now the Falcon has his new suit made by Wakanda, which is he looks exactly almost like the comic book Captain America, where when he's the Falcon, because Falcon becomes Captain America in the actual comic book.
Yeah, I thought I heard something about that.
Yeah, so his suit on the show, they say that the Captain America suit on the show and his wings and everything was made by Wakanda, according to the MCU, because
Yeah.
on Bucky's favorite. And so now his suit is made out of vibranium. His wings and everything is indestructible now. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he comes out in the beginning of the show with upgraded tech, um, and with the shield as well. And so they come in there to fight these people that's kidnapping everybody, and uh, to save the day, pretty much. So that's how it kind of ends with them stopping the Flag Smashers um, from um, from kidnapping everybody. But
Mm-hmm.
also at the end of it, um, they showed that uh, a very inspirational speech by Sam. You know what I mean? He embraces the Captain America banner, and and shows, because the world is filming this global conference. This conference that was supposed to be for the global
Oh
repairing
shit.
of everybody that was displaced. So everybody is there when um, Sam pretty much
Shit.
You said what?
Oh man, my bad. This light changed on me at last minute. I
Oh,
noticed.
I'm making a red light.
Yeah, I think I did.
Shit.
Go
But yeah,
ahead.
man, you always better be safe on that road, bro. But
Yeah,
so
man.
what ended up happening was Sam Wilson is chastising the senators because they still calling the people terrorists after Sam and them stop them. And Sam was like, "Man, they're not terrorists. What they just misguided. You know, they're fighting for a cause, and the cause that they was fighting for was because they're misunderstood. They felt like people weren't listening to them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
the guy tried to tell him, "Well, how would you know?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a black man in America. What are you talking about?" And so he
Right.
has this long speech that's inspirational, and the world just happened to capture it on video because all the news people was there to watch the conference that they were supposed to have. So that's how the
Right.
world gets introduced to the new Captain America, which is the Falcon. Um, and of course, in the process, everybody is witnessing him save all these lives, um, and fight the Flag Smashers in the process. Um, they find out. Well, I'll leave that for you. You can watch that because it's an underlining part, but I'll save you for that. But so, anyways, they what ends up happening is at the end of it, uh, Sam goes back to Isaiah Bradley, um, and lets him know, because even Isaiah Bradley was watching on TV with his grandson. Now his grandson Elijah actually becomes the U.S. Patriot, who's also
Oh, is that right?
has superpowers. And yeah, so when he
Okay.
grows up, he's part of the Young Avengers, and he's the captain. He's the new quote unquote Captain America, who's a black kid named the U.S. Patriot, and he gets
Okay.
the shield. And so, but on the show, he's young. He's Isaiah's grandson, like I say, and Sam Wilson goes to him and talks to him and tells him, uh, why he took up the mantle of Captain America, even though Isaiah Bradley, tried his best to convince him that the America wouldn't accept no black man as Captain America. But after seeing
Mm-hmm.
what Sam did and seeing his character as the world watch him give that inspirational speech, he has a change of heart and says, you're a different kind of dude. You kind of
Right.
basically deserve the shot at doing that. If any black man can do it, it's you, pretty much. He didn't
Yeah.
say the words, but it's insinuated that that's exactly how he felt. You know, and
Right.
so Sam tells him and his grandson, "Hey, go clean up. I got a surprise for y'all." So at the end of the episode, he takes Isaiah Bradley and his grandson to the Captain America Museum that we've seen several times, and he shows them that he opened up uh, what do you call it? What do you call like an exhibit? He opened up an exhibit that's only dedicated to Isaiah Bradley and letting the world know who Isaiah Bradley was, that he was a super soldier and a Captain America, just like Steve Rogers. And he did the exact same thing Steve Rogers did in the, Captain America First Avenger when Steve Rogers was told to let those prisoners of war be captured, one of them being Bucky, and Steve Rogers went in there and saved them. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when Steve Rogers did that, he became a war hero. But when Isaiah Bradley did it, he became a prisoner of war. I mean, a prisoner in his own country because of what he did in the war.
Yeah.
And
Now,
so
Bucky,
now this, huh?
Steve Rogers and Bucky, I think they were the best of friends or something. They went.
Yeah,
They were friends before they went to the military.
exactly. They was the best of friends when Steve Rogers
Yeah.
before he even took that serum. He was a little guy with who was sick and deformed pretty much. Um, and
Right.
um, he only him and Bucky was trying to join the military together, but Bucky made it. You know, Bucky was the big strong guy who always looked after Steve
Right.
and everybody in the community. He was a real good dude, and he was very encouraging to Steve. But then Steve, when he got in there, they found out that he was sick and he couldn't really do nothing. But then when they seen him jump on that grenade during basic training, uh, they realized that he got something that the older soldiers didn't have, which is a heart,
Yeah.
a real heart, not bravery, not just bravery, but a
Right.
heart and bravery. And so
Right.
they gave him that super
Yeah.
serum because they figured if a person gets superpowers, they have to have a good heart, not just bravery.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And so that's how it went down. And that's why it's paralleled with the show because John Walker is a soldier who had bravery and made good decisions, but his heart was in question.
Yeah.
And not till the end do you get the answers to where is his heart in all this. You know what I'm saying? Is his heart in it,
Mm-hmm.
or is he just a person who was brave and he really more so into himself more than anything
Mm-hmm.
else? And so those are the questions that get answered at the end of the series. And then, but as I was saying, Isaiah Bradley and his grandson get to see the exhibit with all the information that explains to everybody who Isaiah Bradley is. So now he doesn't have to hide in the shadows of Baltimore and away from everybody because he was in fear that if anybody feared, if the new government found out that he was alive, that they try to come for him and kill him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he just wanted to live
Yeah.
out his old days with his grandson in Baltimore and chilling. You know what I mean? But Sam gave him at least that. You know what I mean? Letting his name be taken out of any kind of uh, uh, buried history and put it on the forefront and made people know that he was the hero that he was.
Yeah.
And that's how it ended. It was a real good uh, social commentary on the difference on how people deal with us versus other people. They touch on the little Tuskegee experiment stuff that they was doing
Mm-hmm.
and using black soldiers to test out scientific experiments, and also like I said with the other Captain America, John Walker. Even though he did all that stuff on TV and turned out he killed somebody, they didn't arrest that dude. They fired him, and he ended up you know at the end of the series getting a job as what he is in a comic book, which is the United States agent. So he's a U.S. agent. He's no longer
Mm-hmm.
Captain America, but he becomes U.S. agent, and he fights for what they call the Dark Avengers. He's the head of the Dark Avengers. So he just kind of just like in today's day, if a police officer kills somebody or brutalize somebody, they may get fired in one town but hired in the next town.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important for qualified immunity and decertification so that when these guys do something like that, they can't even become police officers anywhere else. And they can be held liable along with the city and state personally if they end qualified immunity. But
That's
I
wild.
recommend that show, bro. I recommend everybody see the show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is now going to be Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because it is a show that deals with social commentary, using superhero tropes, um, in the MCU. So it's some real good stuff in there. But that's that. Um, one of these days we're going to have to talk about The Boys, which is an interesting series. Um, has 2 seasons on there on Amazon, and
So the boys.
The Boys, you can find it on Amazon Prime, I think. It's an
Yeah, I got
Amazon
Prime.
original.
I got
Okay.
Prime. What is the boys about?
The Boys uses this is from a different comic book. Um, it's not MCU, it's not Marvel, and it's not DC. It's some kind of like off-brand comic book, but this is an adult comic book. Well, all these damn comic books are adult comic books, but this is a gory adult comic book. Um, and in this world, in this comic book world, um, the superheroes have been um, monetized.
Oh,
They're
all right.
monetized, so it exists in the real world, and you realize that these superheroes are tied to corporations. Um, one corporation specifically, when the series starts, all these superheroes, about 200 over 200 superheroes are affiliated with, which is called VOUGHT, VOUGHT, So VOUGHT
Okay.
International is a corporation that monetizes superheroes. So like we have like Captain America and Batman, the movies, not the heroes, but we have the movies.
Yeah.
And this series,
Yeah, I'm a Silver
this,
Surfer.
in this series, those same superheroes that are in the world saving people, they star in movies about themselves. So they
Yeah.
got like an Invisible Man kind of character who they call translucent.
Hmm.
They have a character named Homelander who's like Superman. They got a character named Queen May. She's like Wonder Woman. They got a character
Hmm.
named the Deep who's like Aquaman. They have a character called Black Noir who's like Batman. You know what I'm saying, and so forth and so on. But these characters in this series are monetized. Uh, they all are owned by a corporation. The rights are
Hmm.
owned by a corporation. They do movies, merchandise, the whole 9 yards. But what you soon realize, they have a guy named uh, A Train who's like the Flash. He's black. You know what I'm saying? And but
Hmm.
what you realize is that there's more that meets the eye, well, when it comes to the superheroes in this world. And there's a group of mercenaries who call themselves the Boys, who go up. That's who are the antagonists or protagonists, depending on how you see it, for the superheroes.
Okay.
So the show is named after the group of people who are opposed to the superheroes and VOT. So I don't want to
Yeah,
I don't
that's
want to say much more than that, because that show, when you watch it, will shock you in ways that the Marvel and DC and those would never even touch, never touch.
have you seen it's more it's not as serious. I mean it's more I won't say comical, but more kind of like stupid. But they try to be a little serious. But there's a guy in there that kind of represents Captain America slash Superman. I think I'm on IMVD, P, whatever the acronyms are. and one of the girls, I think she used to be a like a person that did research. That did research and no, she wasn't doing research. She was like over the guy. But him and her, they were messing around. But anyway, he would go out and do a whole lot of crooked stuff, but still try to act like he was, all American hero, this, that, and the third. I can't
When did it
think of
come
the
out?
name. It's been out for it'll be into the second, third, or fourth season.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been out for a minute. Yeah, it's pretty. It's well, I hadn't watched it in a while, but every time I watch it, I always see something that
Crazy.
trips me out.
Yeah.
'cause they're not as
I
straight
gotta,
as I tell you,
you gotta let me know.
one of the brothers is he's supposed to have superhero powers when in the first season. He was like a Flash, like a Black Flash. He dressed in blue, and he had to take some kind of serum type drug that kept his speed up and everything.
That's the boys. That's the boys. That's what I'm talking about.
What's the name of it?
The boys.
The Boys. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
That's it. That's the series.
Yeah, they're a little wild on that one, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's on Amazon Prime. You gotta watch it You gotta watch it. Watch it. Like take some time to see it because all those themes that it touches on is way crazy. It's like dealing with the military-industrial complex, corporations, Hollywood, how they manufacture the images of superstars. It deals with so many different tropes in that one series that it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's more like they trolling. Yeah, they doing a moxie of the other.
No, that's what it seems. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like on the surface. But when you watch it, you realize it's not. It's not. It has nothing. It is like in terms of the creative of the comic book. Okay, this is a Superman / Captain America. This is supposed to be a Wonder Woman. It's supposed to be the Flash. It's supposed to be Aquaman. But it's really the Deep. Like in that regard. But the themes that's what's going on in the story is totally different, and what these characters do are totally different than any other superhero, quote unquote, stuff that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
It gets real out there.
Yeah.
But
it looks like it's gonna be raining all day today, so I'll probably be in the house just watching programs like that in between my naps.
Yeah, Bosch is a good series too, but we're gonna have to do a thing where we rewatch The Wire and talk about that because I think a lot of people have only seen it once or twice.
The Wire? You talking about the DC? The Wire?
No, The Wire. The Wire is the show in Baltimore that we was talking about on the boxing.
Yeah, well, I said DC. Yeah, Baltimore. You're right. Yeah, I used to watch it. I thought, you know what? You educated me tonight, though. You said it was about 5 seasons. I thought it was more than that.
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Yeah.
It seems like it is because there's so many topics.
Yeah. I tell you what I liked about it. Gave a local person like Snoop, who was a real individual in that community, opportunity to get some fame, man.
She got some work.
Really is, and was able to maintain who they were as a person.
She ain't the only one. You know who else is on it?
Yeah, there was a few more. Who else?
Melvin Williams, who was the big guy. He was the big time drug dealer out there. He was the Frank Lucas, if you will, of Baltimore.
The guy that drove the Maseratis. Older brother.
Melvin Williams played the Deacon. Remember the Deacon on the show?
Oh no, I can't.
In the later season.
I remember it was a Deacon on it, but I can't
That Deacon, the actor that plays the Deacon, that's the real Melvin Williams after he got out of prison. Ed Burns. The thing about The Wire is, the creators is Ed Burns and Dave.
I know.
Dave Simon.
I know one of the cats, older brother, who did some time, got out. He was one of the biggest hustlers in that area, and he's like that's what I thought. He drove Maseratis before he went to the joint, and he jumped back in a Maserati when he got back home. Like an older model, but it was still clean while he was doing that show.
Yep, that's Lil Melvin. So he got a chance to get put back on. David Simon and Ed Burns put him back. Really Ed Burns, he put several people that he locked up on the show. The real Omar Little is on the show. He plays a guy who comes out in season 5, I believe. Season 4 and 5. Your audio breaking up again. Nah, it's not clear. Nope, not clear. Still staticky. Nope, still staticky. Not clear at all. But yeah, they brought in a lot of guys from the streets. Several guys from the streets to play in the show and bring the authenticity. DB, what it do, brother? Salute. Yeah, the authenticity of The Wire is different from all these other shows partially because the creators of the show had in-depth knowledge of what they was dealing with. Like David Simon was he wrote for the Baltimore Sun, and so a lot of these stories was firsthand to him working in the newspapers all those years at the Baltimore Sun. And David and Ed Burns, the co-creator, was a homicide detective who turned into a Baltimore City teacher.
Yeah.
So that's why you have all those different aspects. Oh, there you go. Now you're clear.
Now the guy Melvin you were speaking of, he was the one came up with that phone system as far as the codes that they were using.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had the code system.
Yeah, that brother, that was something else, man. Way ahead of his time.
And I can't remember the guy's name off top, but he was the godson of one of the Jewish bosses, and that's how he ended up getting really put on Lil Melvin. He has his own unique entertaining story if they can get the right people behind it to tell his story. But as it stands, the show really surrounds Avon Barksdale. Avon Barksdale is a real person as well. There's a real Baltimore drug lord named Avon Barksdale at that time. So like what you do have is these guys, and there was another guy named Russell Bell who Stringer's character was based off of. But these guys are all a combination of several different real life people who've all been squeezed into these main roles to tell the story of the city and the things that happen within the city. That's why earlier on the boxing section, I was talking about the responsibility of the filmmakers to make these shows as realistic as possible, if indeed their goal is to deal with real life situations and be grounded in reality.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's when we were talking about the difference between Snowfall and some of these other shows, and The Wire, or even like the Shield, Sons of Anarchy, and the Mayans. Is when those worlds are grounded, the way they deal with them brings an authenticity that the other ones don't have.
Right. I know. Yeah, The Wire was one of the first and probably one of the only movies that really took in the accountability of the real characters that would really end up to live those parts and
Right.
got their accurate account of what happened and how it was done and things of that nature, and applied it
Right.
to the big screen. Now, as far as Snowfall, I heard that Snowfall wasn't was someone else's idea that was stolen. What was it? Freeway? I think Freeway.
Yeah. So,
Rick Ross is the one told it. Said it was. He gave that story to. He pitched it to, was it John Singleton or somebody else? And
well, they
act
had the
like they didn't want to
idea.
use it.
Well,
Yeah, and then later on they come
they had
back.
the idea to tell the story. Um, but Freeway at the same time was going around Hollywood pitching his movie. He wanted to do
Yeah,
he got a script that has been written by the guy who wrote the movie Blow.
yeah,
Remember that movie Blow with Johnny Depp? Boston
yeah,
George played Boston George, the
yeah,
real life
yeah. I love
version.
that movie.
So the
Yeah, it
guy
was
who
a
wrote
real
that
amazing
script,
movie.
Rick Ross got to write a script for his movie, and even Jamie Foxx was
Okay,
rumored to
cool.
play him. What happened
Okay.
was in the process of all this going on, John Singleton wanted to tell the story of the crack epidemic in South Central LA of that time period himself in a TV series.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he tried to, um, Rick Ross brought him his ideas for it. John Singleton had his own ideas for it, but it turned out that he didn't for whatever reason um, use and
Didn't include
utilize Rick
Freeway.
Ross's input. Right, he didn't
Right.
utilize the input. So Rick Ross was like, "Man, look, I can make your show even more authentic. I can make it actually authentic um, and realistic because I lived through this. There's not gonna be no secondhand information. I'm gonna tell you how it was and what it was." But
Right. Right.
John Singleton had a way that he wanted to go with it, so he went with it, and that's why to me it lacks a certain authenticity that it probably would had Rick Ross been able to be on the program. Um,
Right. Right.
no slight to the
But at the
actors
same,
that are involved.
it's probably a blessing in disguise for Rick Ross too, because he's still going to have the opportunity to get his story out there
Exactly.
and have those accountabilities of events the way he remembered them. So that's still an opportunity for him, and his chunk of money might be a little bit better. Well, he would have got a nice little amount of money from those the series because it would have been a reoccurring situation. But
Right.
he probably do all right off the movie, I would say, especially as
Yeah,
him as a writer or what have
and
you,
executive
and a
producers.
producer. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That executive producer is where you make that money
Right,
because
sir.
you putting in on that. So you're an investor in that. But um,
Hmm.
I think he'll bring a level of authenticity to it. Um, as many real names as he can use as possible,
You
um,
know,
and tell a story. But it
Rick
sucks
Ross
that
movie may be bigger than that American Gangster movie.
but he's
You know
not
how
the
big
only
that
one.
American Gangster was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's probably
think
gonna be bigger than that.
I think that I think that Melvin Williams movie would be bigger than it. You know what I mean? It just
Melvin Williams, the guy
it
from
would
The
have
Wire.
been. Yeah, because they would have had the opportunity to do uh, to capture that energy that happened with the Wire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Going
sure it would
back to
be good,
Baltimore,
but
telling that story.
I'm,
But Rick Ross
I'm looking at the
is a unique
popularity
story.
nationwide. Yeah, if you
Right,
look at the popularity nationwide of Rick Ross, that's what I'm banking on. It'll be a
right.
great explosion onto the silver screen,
And knowing
silver
who
screen,
the
I
rapper
should
is,
say. Screen.
I
Well,
think that goes
I
into
think
it as
everybody,
well.
yeah, I think everybody's on page with that, knowing who's who now. Since Ross is home, he's been able to tell his story about claiming his a fame to his name, and I think we all know now what's happening. Uh,
As
but
well as his moves now, right? With the boxing, with the freeway
he's promotions.
cannabis strain.
Is he doing management? He's managing, right?
Yes,
Boxers.
he's managing. He's managing. He got a whole stable of boxers that he's managing. Kid Austin being one, Nefer Charles being another one. You know what I mean? He got Saul Rodriguez out here in Southern California in the Riverside area. I believe Nano's still with him. So you know, he got a nice stable of fighters who he's trying to get in a position to make some money.
Right.
And I think that would be a great bookend to the movie if they do it, to show that how he rehabilitated himself coming out of the correctional facility. He didn't turn out to be a statistic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now they did a movie a few years ago that was based on Rick Ross. Part of it was based on his life. Another part was based on the guy who he's dealing with, who was connected with that was from the Nicaragua. And what was the name of that movie? It was mostly about Rick Ross's life, though, but the name I can't remember the name of it. But it showed how the guy who's from Nicaragua set him up and testified against him and all that, and how the guy was connected to the folks back in Nicaragua as well as the government.
Blandon.
Oh, I know what
Blandon
it was. I was gonna say don't kill the messenger, but I don't think that was the movie I'm thinking of, even though that was a good one too. What you say the name of it was?
No, the name of the person, the guy that set them up. He was a CIA informant named Benito Blandon.
Yeah, he kept getting in trouble, and then finally he snitched on Rick.
That's the thing, though. He
came out not long ago, man.
No, but the thing is, he can't snitch on Rick. He's the supplier.
Yeah.
You the connect. You know what I mean? How you gonna snitch on somebody under you?
Man, they did it, man. Trust me.
You see what I mean? That was the big controversy, and that's what makes the Rick Ross story intriguing.
Yeah.
Is that he got quote unquote snitched on by the guy over him? How the heck does that happen?
But believe it or not, that was a lot of cases like that. I had to go in and I went under that same alumni, man, for a few years, and I met a lot of guys that were well connected. I mean, they was making some major moves, and just to find out that their connection is who gave them up. And I'm like, what? You know, I didn't know that happened until, well, I probably heard about some of the first cases before I had my own situation. But after I got on the inside, mingling amongst these guys, found out even more.
It was common, huh?
The real detail. So when I found out all of that, along with some guys went there for family members turning on each other, I said, man, you can't trust anyone. So I learned as much as I need to learn, knowing you can't come back out here doing the same thing. You gotta separate yourself from that life, because not anyone who gets pressured to get abundance amount of time is liable to go ahead and sacrifice you.
Yep.
So I didn't want no family member, no close friend, or no one I was dealing with who was above me, so to speak, to have that opportunity over me to do that. Right. And let alone, I didn't start my life that way, living that type of lifestyle. So I said, hey, it should be hard to transition back to who I was raised to be.
Right.
So, man, it's crazy, man. You meet some people, man, that their cases are just mind-boggling, man. The people that testify against them, you just wouldn't believe. You're like, what? Brothers on brothers, mothers, fathers, sisters, sons, daughters, cousins, aunts, best friends. Oh man, it's crazy. The guy sitting up here at the top of the pyramid, who's the main distributor, giving up 4 or 5 people under them. You know, just crazy stuff, man. Like, how can you win?
Because they black.
If you gotta, yeah. These,
You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Yeah.
Give us the black dude involved so we can put we put them motherfuckers in jail for long periods of time and put the face
right.
of the drug game on them. Meanwhile, we'll keep you out and play. We'll keep you out and play to get some more people. Mirror, what it do, fam?
Right.
So what's your take on the series Power? Power is no wire. To me, everything trickles down from there. The Wire is to me the standard on how shows can be, how shows should be ran, and how shows should be looked at when it comes to being grounded in real world environment. Power is to me is it's a good show. It's a really good show, if not great. It falls short of being The Wire,
right?
Because of some of the scenarios happen too fast to me. After you see The Wire, everything else is different. You know what I mean?
Man.
Right.
Yeah, the Wire was such a realistic format. You could relate to it in the real world. You know, a lot of that stuff was relatable to reality. Now Power, it was a lot of fictitious stuff going on in that program, but it was still exciting. And like yourself, I'm fascinated with those organized crime type movies, and I love the smooth criminal. That's what I loved about Power. The guy was leaps and bounds ahead of most of the people around him as far as thinking. He made chess moves, and it was great, you know, for entertainment and whatnot. But yeah, The Wire, man, was just a authentic situation that really was relatable.
I have this thing that I say about Ghost, and I'm in the minority, and I understand that, and I'm fine with being in the minority in my thinking of this. But to me, for some reason, the way the things that happened throughout the series, Ghost was probably the smartest dummy I've ever seen on TV. He was the smartest dummy. He was portrayed as just supposed to be this intelligent, super ultra intelligent person, but all the mistakes that he made was real dumb, stupid mistakes. Right? Some of them he didn't even get caught for.
Yeah.
But they were stupid, dumb mistakes. Like let's say, remember when he goes to the apartment of man, what's this girl's name that he's in love with?
The FBI agent.
Yeah, man, I forgot her name already. Angela. Remember, he goes to Angela's apartment and creeps in there, sneaks in there with his glove. You know, he goes through the window.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He went through the window.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. If you look at that scene, he goes inside the apartment with 2 gloves on and does his thing, right?
Yeah.
But when he leaves out, for some reason, he takes one of the gloves off.
To leave a fingerprint.
On the window.
Yeah.
And they don't even think to wipe it off. That's like a dumb rookie move, right?
Exactly.
For you to be so smart.
He didn't make those kind of moves in any other crimes he committed.
Right, but then you look at the remember when they remember, this is spoilers, so whoever watching this, spoiler alert for anybody that haven't watched Power yet.
Oh, they should have watched it by now.
But look, remember when they killed Lobos?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just kill him in the car? They got to take him out the car, walk him in the woods, leave a trail of footprints, and the whole scene, give him a chance to get away and fight back, and then kill him without even being able to bury him and all other kind of stuff. You could have just killed him right there with everybody else and made it look like a hit on him.
Right. Exactly.
You set yourself up to have all this kind of evidence put up against you, and it goes on like that. Like all these dumb moves made by a smart character was like something that just didn't sit well with me, even though they kept portraying like, well, he's so smart. You know what I
Well, you know
mean?
what that was. You know,
But
they didn't have live, real life people that'll live a life on the other side of the law, advising them on that program.
they did though.
The right, like
They
who?
did
50
though.
wasn't no real. 50 wasn't no real deal for that kind of accountability like that on that level.
That's who the show's
But
supposed to be built off. It's supposed to be loosely built off his life, the same way Franklin is
that ain't
supposed to
what
be
I.
loosely built off of Rick Ross.
No, I don't remember
50
50
Cent.
saying it was based off his life. I thought he was just putting,
No, I said
he was just
loosely,
bringing
loosely, loosely.
street life with business life. But but now they, well, he started it off, but the writers took it over.
No, Courtney
And
Agbo Kemp, who's the creator of the show, is on record and saying that 50 Cent has been her go-to person for the authenticity of the show, and to let her know what
yeah,
happens
I
in
remember.
on the criminal world
Yeah,
and
I
what a
remember that.
scenario would be like. That's
But
what
we,
that's those are her words. I can only go by the creator of the show and the head writer of the show. If they're doing something else and they just talking that talk, that could possibly be. But and maybe that is how it is. Maybe these smart dudes think they smart and they make dumb mistakes like that, and that is the authenticity of it, and that's why they get caught. So
I think
maybe that is
he just went Hollywood because on advice of some others to make the impact of the program greater and appeal to others who really don't know that side of the world. But because I mean, if you think, as far as I know, I don't recall 50 even doing time for. He did time, but I forget what it was. It was when he was really young and he went like a boot camp type of place. He hadn't really done any real time for like drugs or street life, organized crime type time.
but neither
If I
does
recall
Ghost, right?
correctly. No,
Neither did
but
Ghost, right?
he does catch a murder. He does catch a he they try to get him up on a murder and some other stuff though. In the
Right,
movie.
but it wasn't
But what
him.
I'm saying, like all the other programs, they have some advisors from real life that has experienced these things in real life, being in and out with their freedom, and
Right.
gave some real accountability. So to me, it was just different because plus I know 50 hadn't really experienced everything from the streets to the inside uh, in that way. So I think it was more. I think in the beginning to start off the right way. I think after that they just the way that because see well what I'm going by when they would have those moments when they would bring the writers in, they would talk about why they went a certain direction with the stories of the characters. Uh, you know, they were talking about how they would brainstorm these ideas and not necessarily 50 being involved with those brainstorms. And they would come up with these ideas of how to make the next episode pop, who to kill off, all this old type of thing. So it's I took it for what it's worth, but it was good. It was great entertainment, great entertainment. But yeah, they did make him a smart, dumb criminal. They definitely did that. But I tell you, it was very entertaining.
Yeah,
To
it is
follow
for what
along.
it is, right? But also
Right.
this thing, is it me, or does it seem like because when the show first comes on, it's like okay, this is what Stringer Bell was trying to do. This is who Avon and Stringer was trying to be. Had they lived long enough to do it, uh,
Who was that?
be like
Who you said
Ghost,
was trying to do that?
like Ghost and Tommy. When
Yeah.
the show first starts, it seems like well, that's who had that's who Stringer and Avon was striving to be. You know what I mean? Somebody who got it uh, enough to look like he going legit,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But when you look at it as the show goes on, you realize, man, where's the money at? You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
own his penthouse. The penthouse is you know what I mean? Is
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It doesn't look like they
I
own
thought he,
that.
I thought he did own it because he made his
Did they
wife
own it?
move out or whatever.
Oh yeah. But you know what it was is that um, they don't got no. He didn't have no power over it. You know what I mean? People can just
Right.
walk in, or he got
Yeah,
kept out of his
that
own
was
spot.
crazy. Now I'm gonna
Remember,
tell
they
you
didn't
what was
want to let
crazy
him
to me.
in.
What was crazy to
But
me, he's paying all these other organizations, you know, one time or another, to be in business on the street side of things. Like at one time, he was paying the Russians, and another time he's paying I forget the other organization, but there was
they
two
had
different
he had
organizations at different times he had to pay them to be in business. I thought that was crazy. Then
right.
they come at him for so many millions of dollars here and so many millions of dollars. I'm like, you know, and they 1 minute they up,
And the next minute, they don't have
next
money for nothing. Oh, we don't have no money.
minute they broke with the hawk with these other. Right, it's
Right,
crazy.
and that's why I was like,
But
man,
see,
look like
what I was
Stringer and
getting at about
Avon have way
the
more
way they
money
were,
than that.
yeah. And what I was getting at, the writers, they were just use their imagination, and for a lot of those episodes, in my opinion, because I mean, you know, they probably have more female writers than male writers.
Right.
That's what at least showed
I
up
don't know
in
what the
the
ratio was, but
outtakes
I do
with
know. Yeah, I don't know what the ratio was, but I do know you know, they had a mixture of them,
yeah,
male and females. I don't know what the ratio was, but you know, they played it up like a prime time soap opera, but was with the
right,
rated R
exactly,
vibe with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Which is a good show. But anyways, I thought that the series was pretty good. Um, but I always looked at Ghost as the bad guy because he was the cause of most of his own problems.
yes, yes,
And
indeed,
I always thought that, like, okay, you have a girlfriend, or you have a wife, excuse me, who doesn't even know anything about you that she needs to know about you. She don't know how you learn Spanish.
right,
She don't know what your
right,
end game is, your end goal is. She doesn't know that
mm-hmm.
you always had a end.
Love
You've
interest,
always wanted to be a club owner
yeah,
and get out the game. Like, as far as she know, y'all doing this. You know what I mean?
right, right,
This is what y'all is. Your best friend and partner don't know the same thing. You don't know that you got a number that you're trying to reach and you out.
right.
They just think you talking shit.
See that part right there, him wanting to get to a certain number and be out, and he's got a partner. See, they took that part there from Superfly, in my opinion, the original Superfly.
Hmm.
You know, he had a partner. He had his aspirations of you know, going hard and strong for a little while after investing X amount of dollars on a certain amount of drugs, and then getting out of the business after they, you know, reached a certain number. And his partner really didn't want to get out of the business, especially when the folks came through and told him, "Hey, y'all work for us now," you know, the police. And so then his partner's trying to get him killed, you know, all this old kind of thing. See, a lot of there was some things like in the movie Superfly and a few other movies that I used to watch years ago, the black exploitation movies. They kind of took some pieces of that and massaged it, brought it up to date, modernized it, used it in power. You know, it's it was obvious that a lot of stuff was fictitious, but like I said, it was very entertaining. Now I'm gonna tell you, the movie Superfly, when they did that one back in the '70s, I was a kid at that time, but a lot of the images that they showed in the movie I could relate to because I saw guys like that are around where I grew up, and I saw the cars, the women, you know, uh, and man, as I became an adult and looked at the movie again and again, they had some realistic scenes in that movie. Some were fictitious as well. But one thing they did back then is they had some real live street characters, hustlers and whatnot in the movie, but also gave if they were also advisors to the movie, and so it kept the authenticity of it real strong. That's why it's a cult classic to this day because it was very relatable and realistic to what was going on in the '70s and all the hoods around America. And man, it's still a great movie in my opinion. But I'm a '70s black exploitation movie buff. I enjoy watching, no matter what time of day it is. And man, I know for years you couldn't even watch that movie for free. You had to pay for it on YouTube or whatever other sources, and it was hard for me to find it on those apps that have movies that at no charge. I really couldn't find that episode, the original, on those. You can find the ones that were not as successful and they came up afterwards, but the original, they were making sure they get their money off that joint, man. To this day.
The on Power at the they probably would have benefited from that real life experience a lot more than the Hollywood stuff. But what I did like about it is the way that they develop certain characters um and the show was a show that they did what I call world building. So they created this big old world that they can work on the canvas and make other projects. And that's what leads me to Ghost, um, Power Book 2. And
Yeah,
close it out real quick because where we at? About to be on the 2 hour mark. Um, it's only been one season. Um,
yeah,
I like the fact that they went the route of making it kind of like a cyclical event where Ghost killed the father of his business, his drug business that kind of raised him to be a man into
yeah,
the game, and then him basically inadvertently teaching his son to do the same thing because of his lies and deceit and jealousy and not jealousy. What's the word I was looking for? Uh, uh, his selfishness. Talking about Ghost. Bled off into his son,
yeah,
and when his son, all he wanted to know was the truth. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I always say that if Ghost would have brought Tariq in and said, "Look, we already got
Uh,
me and your Uncle Tommy got the drug thing already locked down. Your mom got the money locked down,
mm.
but the family could use a lawyer. So go to school and become a lawyer, and then you'll be the lawyer for the family business." That I believe Tariq would have did that
I don't know if Tariq would have
easily.
liked that though, cause see, Tariq was all about that
I'm just
education,
saying.
but he
Let
was
me
like his
finish though.
daddy. Okay.
Let me finish though. Because Tariq at that time, Tariq was driven by Kanan because of the lies that Ghost told him and Tommy told him.
True.
He just wanted a role in the family business. Ghost, if he was smart as he was, could have parlayed that into something else. It wasn't that Tariq just needed to be a gangster. He just, needed to be getting his hands into the gangster aspect because that's obviously wasn't him. Even when you watch the series Ghost, he really didn't want to get into the gangster aspect. He only killed now because he killed his dad. But prior to that happening, remember when he was doing the heisting with the cop that he killed, but they was breaking into people's homes. He was never really built like
Oh
that to
yeah,
be in the
yeah,
streets like that. He wanted to.
yeah.
He just wanted to be a part of the family aspect and be told the truth. All that stuff was just acting out in rebellion. So had Ghost uh, cultivated that, he could have did something else with that and used him for his intelligence, but still kept him as a gangster in fold, as you can see when you watch like films like The Godfather, where uh the
Patino.
stepbrother, if you will, huh?
I thought you were talking about Pacino.
No, no, no.
The
The
older brother, the one that got killed.
no, the brother that plays the guy that plays the stepbrother, the lawyer, the consigliere of the family.
Yeah, yeah. Robert. Duvall.
Bobby Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, like that kind of a character. Like Tariq could have been that for the family. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they missed the opportunity for that because of the lies and selfishness of the both of the parents. Both of his parents was liars. Both of his parents were
Yeah.
dishonest. Both of his parents were treacherous. Both of his parents showed no loyalty on when times got tough. You know what I
Right.
mean? They were both selfish. They was both cheating on each other. There was
Hmm.
so much dysfunction, and on top of all that, they was both master liars, or at least habitual liars. And so that and
Yeah.
then they wonder why their son is a habitual liar.
Right.
And people watching the show wonder why their son is this snake of a person. And I'm like, look at who his parents are, and look at what they taught
Right.
him. The
Right.
only
Right.
adults in his life was Tasha, who's a liar and selfish, and Ghost, who's a liar and selfish. They both are obviously
Mm.
cold-blooded killers. Tommy, you already know he fucked up in the head. He cold-blooded killer.
Oh
Uh,
man, he's crazy.
uh, uh, and a cokehead. And
Hmm.
Kanan, we already know Kanan is a cold-blooded killer. And then you got who's the other one that was a cold-blooded killer that got burnt up in his cell? Drake.
Got burnt up in the city. Oh yeah.
Drake. These are all the people
Yeah.
that influenced Tariq, that was closely to him. So how do you think he's going to turn out? He's going to turn out
Right.
as some kind of culmination or amalgamation of all these different characters. So they know
Yeah.
it wasn't no surprise to me that he did what he did at the end of Power and becomes what he's going to become in the series Ghost. But he must be a good actor if people hate him that much. You know what I mean?
Right. He
But
did a hell of a job.
I think they're doing a good job with it in terms of when you have a whole new cast of characters and you have to make a new show built around
Right.
him,
Right.
a character that nobody liked coming off the other show.
And they might bring another season back, man. I'm not convinced that
No, it
they're
is.
going.
It already got
So
greenlit. Yeah, it's already going. Because I
that's what I
follow
was thinking.
Courtney Agbo Kemp on Instagram, so she
Okay.
always puts out the info on the series, all of the series. They filming. They almost done filming Power Book 3, Raising
Oh,
Canaan.
okay.
They got
I tell you,
greenlit, and Stars asked them to start on Force, which is the one with Tommy on it.
old girl
So he's
that
got
played
his own show
Tasha.
coming.
Old girl that played
Notorious,
Tasha.
yeah, Notorious.
Yeah. I tell you, man. Every time I see her, man, first thing I think about is when she played Lil Kim and Biggie, Notorious
Oh
B.I.G.
yeah, yeah.
When
We
they,
gotta talk about that one day, man. We gotta talk
yeah, it
about
was.
Biggie, and we gotta talk about Notorious and the Tupac. All Eyes on
Yeah.
Me. Gotta put that on the schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. We've been going for 2 hours and about 2 minutes. I didn't know time flew that fast. That Winter Soldier took a while. I kind of went on a tangent trying to talk about that because it was about 6 hours of stuff to kind of condense to get to the point, to get to the end of that one. But
Right.
yeah, we definitely gonna have to take some time to take one show at a time and delve into it. One of these shows and one of these nights and break it down for the people. You know what I'm saying? It's some real good spoiler talk.
Right.
So what we at? 159. Yeah, we about to be 2 hours. So with that being said, everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all coming through. Everybody that's listening to it on the replay, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to IE TV and Movie Talk. Once that gets green lit by YouTube, we'll be going over there to do some TV and movie talk. Um, and you already know about the Sweet Science Examiner when it comes to this boxing talk. And Tank Obadiah TV we're gonna do some thought provoking content on this one, and we're gonna restart our book readings on this channel as well. But until the next time, y'all know where to find me.
Word.
Centos, be safe on that road, brother.
Yes, sir, man.
All
I
right,
got a
King.
load back here tonight, man. I keep forgetting about that. It's